Hey, welcome back to Inside. I'm Rachel, and with us now is Heather from Foster Financial. And today we're chatting all about the Secure Act 2.0. Heather, for those at home who don't know what that is, what is it?
So it's been in the works for quite a while. We had the Secure Act initially passed in 2019, which started to affect things in 2020. And then they came out with another round of it. And they pushed it into legislation. It's been on the docket to get passed this whole entire year. Was it going to? Wasn't it? Got passed. So it's signed, it's done, it's delivered. And it did a lot of changes. I will say this, in my 19 years in finance industry, this is the most legislation changes that I've seen affect the retirement, community, investments, finance in my history, of my career. So when we say legislation risk is a real thing, it is a real thing, which means things are always changing, nothing stays the same. So understanding those changes is what's really critical. There's a few things in there that I'm going to kind of highlight. There is a lot in this new legislation, and I mean a lot, like hundreds and hundreds of pages that I began to read through to understand exactly all what's in there. But a couple ones that are going to affect people next year is kind of what I want to focus on. A lot of these different changes don't hit until 2024, 2025, all the way up till 2033. They're going to phase in some of these different changes, but starting immediately, January 1st, required minimum distributions. We've been talking about them. If you turned 72 this year, you had to get those out, but starting next year, it will be age 73. So they're pushing that out one more year. The first Secure Act actually pushed it from 70 and a half to 72. Now it's 73. By 2033, it will be age 75. So they're doing a phase-in, but initially starting January 1st, if you basically turn 73 next year, that's when you're going to start. If you were 72 this year, you had to take it for this year, but you basically 73 for next year. So that's a big change. Where it can help you is if you were thinking, oh, I got to start doing this next year, you've got an extra year to maybe do something like Roth conversions or getting money out of your IRA in a lower tax bracket. So that was one of the really big ones that's affecting a lot of people locally. Another one is QCD, so qualified charitable distributions. We talk a lot about that. You can now donate up to $50,000 of your IRA to a charitable remainder trust or a charitable remainder annuity. That is something new that you can now do as well. So that's been a big change. 529. So this is a unique one. If you've had a 529 for more than 15 years, there's an opportunity if you have excess money in there that you don't have a student that's going to use it, you can begin to put some of that 529 money into a Roth IRA. This is a huge change. So there's an aggregated total that you can do over your lifetime of $35,000, and it does follow the normal contribution rules, but the income limitation got taken away. So that was a big change that we've seen as well coming into this year. So there's just so much that's changed. The employer plans are changing. Contribution levels are going to change for age 60 to 63. They're going to give an extra incentive for catch-up. Simple IRAs and SEP IRAs. So if you're self-employed or you have a simple IRA for your employees, those could only hold pre-tax money. They're now adding a Roth option to those. So if you're a self-employed person or you're a small business who did a simple plan for your employees, we're now going to have a Roth option for those as well. So there is a lot that was mixed into this, and that's just a few to highlight, Rachel. I can't begin to tell you like how complicated all this is going to be in the end. So making sure that you work with somebody that's staying up on the legislation changes and how it will affect you, and really, as always, how can you take advantage of these changes? What ways can you save yourself money in taxes by doing structured planning and your investment management? That is really what's critical here. Is you've got to take these changes and roll with it and find out what loopholes are still there to kind of give yourself the best tax advantage possible.
Yeah, and changes are not always bad. They are sometimes good too. But like you mentioned, working with someone who knows what's coming ahead is key. So Heather, like always, you guys are a perfect option to do that because you know what you're talking about, and you've read through that document.
We're reading it.
Reading it. That's a lot.
Thousands of pages of legislation changes.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Well, thank you so much for being with us, like always. And of course, if you have financial questions, call the number on your screen for a complimentary consultation today.